All right. So, got an interesting topic today we're going to discuss. But before I do, I'm on with some amazing people. Let me get your permission first. I'm recording this. That you have no problem with that, right?
Okay.
Okay. All right. Awesome. So, this is Ed Akehurst. Most of you watching this probably know who I am. I'm the CEO of Genius Software Development. And I'm on the line here with a couple of my partners and some people that I've gotten to know very well that ask some interesting questions that I think will help all of you. So I'd like the two of you, please, before we get started, to introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, and maybe take 30 seconds or 40 seconds and talk about what your specialties are, and maybe even what attracted you to this business and why is your skill set good for it? Because that may help other people say, hey, I have that same skill set. And what kind of specialties have you focused on?
Cool. I'll go first if it's okay. I'm Taylor. Thanks for having us, Ed. So probably a lot of what I'm going to say in my intro, Misty will feel the exact same way, and it will be a little bit of a repeat. But yeah, so I'll start with what attracted me first to the automation. So I had my own marketing agency done for you before Misty and I started partnering up together. Thank goodness for that. Best decision ever. But yeah, I was doing done for you, and I was spending hours upon hours upon hours every day looking for my next client and we both work with the same business coach, and we were taught a really efficient outreach strategy, but it also took like 8 hours a day. And I started using the connector, Genius Connector, and within 7 days, I pulled a 3K client. And I was like, oh my God, wow, it doesn't have to take 8 hours a day or 10 hours, and you don't have to be exhausted. So at first, we were just kind of playing around with the automation, using it in our business for our own benefit. And then we were like, maybe we should add this to our offers. And then it was like, maybe we should just make this our entire business. So that's kind of how it evolved. And yeah, what we focus on is lead generation and also setting up evergreen sales systems right there on Facebook, because most of the people that we work with are busy entrepreneurs, but they're super ambitious and they do business primarily on Facebook. So the tools that we have are just absolutely perfect for them to save time and grow without the burnout. So does that answer all of your questions?
Very, very similar to how I came into it. So that's cool. All right, Misty?
Yeah, indeed. Taylor mentioned it already. Our story is really very similar. So there's not very much to add. But first of all, my name is Misty. And yeah, Taylor and I joined forces not very long ago and started the Biz Solution Sisters. And yeah, like Taylor, I myself also had my own marketing agency before we started this new business venture together. And automation has, a similar story with the outreach and everything. And automation for us both has completely changed our business, but our life as well. It gave us back so much time. And there were certain frustrations for us in business that the automation tools we now use and offer other busy entrepreneurs completely solve those problems. And it was not only for us, but also things that we recognized with our clients. We both had a little bit of different expertises and focus with our marketing businesses. I worked a lot with business owners, growing their business, lead generation with paid ads, Facebook ads, all of that. And one of the big things I saw all the time with my clients, even with my support, is that it is so difficult and so time consuming to keep track of all of your leads, where they're at in the sales pipeline, etc. So that was the first reason why I thought like this has been amazing for me, but I know it would be as amazing for all of my clients. And besides that, with my done for you services, I was also talking to a lot of business owners who needed help, but weren't ready for this step. They weren't ready for what I had to offer them. And I didn't have an in-between offer. I didn't have anything else, any alternative to offer them to help them get started. yeah, I could share a couple of tips, or I could direct them to someone else, but that was it. So this was a perfect add-on offer to get them started, to get them in those first couple of clients or those extra couple of clients, so that they were then ready to work with me and to invest further into their business and growing and scaling their business more.
Perfect. Wonderful. That's fantastic. Yeah, very similar stories. Well, thank you for sharing that. And it's kind of interesting because what you talked about leads right into our topic for today. Because what you started doing, what you saw that was good for you and was going to promote and change your direction a little bit, was being able to sell the tools. And so the question that Misty and Taylor brought to me and said, can we discuss this, was instead of just selling to end users and the people in their business that they can help, that are business owners that can use the tools, what if they could find people to also become resellers like them? Okay, one of the things that Genius has as a company for most of our products is we allow our reseller partners to also go out and find reseller partners, and they get compensated very well for that. Almost, it's a reseller of a reseller partnership. Depending who you are and what plan you're in and things like that. I don't want to get into any of those details, but the ability exists. So it's a natural fit that Misty and Taylor saw, hey, look, we're selling these. Maybe this would also be a good thing for some of the people we're running into to sell, and how can we find more of those people? Because let's face it, if you sell a tool for $37, $57, $97, even $147 a month for an end user, that's great. That's fantastic. Go sell 100, 200, 300, 400 of those. You have a really nice business. But if you can go find people to sell $197, $297, $497, $1,000 a month, whatever, because they're buying reseller partnerships, it takes a lot less of those to have a very successful company. So it's a really good place to move to. The basics of finding, so that's what we're going to talk about today, okay, is how to go find those resellers, how to connect with them, how to market them, how to present and offer them. I'm not going to get into specific offers because everybody's going to do it differently, but just the overview of how to do that, kind of point you in the right direction. And thank you for letting me record this, because you're not the first people who have come to me and said, hey, can we discuss this? So this is going to be a great training for other people out there. And the reason I'm willing to do it with you and record it is I know the two of you well enough now to know that you'll go take action on this. So that's kind of exciting, because that's what's exciting for me, is to see people use the information and go build their business. So thank you for that. It's what it's all about, is action taking. You can get all this information all you want, but if you don't go do anything with it, it doesn't help. So anyway, so let's dive into this, because this is a fascinating topic. And this is really what set me off where I am. As far as resellers go, there is an overlap with your clientele. Okay, so the first thing I recommend when you're moving to a focus, or if you're not going to focus on resellers, but you want to add it into your area of focus and add it to what you're doing, the first place I recommend starting is your existing customer base. Okay, because there is an overlap there. Not all of them. Let's use a masseuse as an example. Okay, a masseuse could use Genius Messenger and Genius Connector beautifully. It's a person-to-person business. In most cases, it's brick and mortar, it's local. There are all kinds of places they can reach out to. There are great ways to keep track of things and send broadcasts. You know, we have a local masseuse here in our area, and on Valentine's Day, she was promoting a couples massage. And so, you know, for something like that, a broadcast on Genius Messenger, for example, is beautiful. So it's a good tool for her. But a reseller partnership is probably not a real good fit for her, because she's dealing with business people probably, but not in the capacity of offering them tools. It's outside the focus of what she does. There's an exception to that. What if she owns a building, which a lot of masseuses do, and she's the owner of the building, and she has a room rented out to an acupuncturist, a room rented out to a Reiki practitioner, a room. And so now she's got these other little business entrepreneurs in her building. Maybe she's got 10 of them. Maybe she's got a dozen of them. Maybe some are sharing rooms. Maybe she's got 20 of them. She could buy a reseller package and say, hey, look what I've done to promote my business. Why don't you use these tools to promote yours? She can make a little money on the side, and then the extra benefit to her remember when you're selling, you're not selling what you're selling the benefit to them. Is now her acupuncturist who's been struggling with business and she doesn't know how long that lady's going to be able to keep continuing to rent that room. Now, all of a sudden, she's using the tools. She's got business coming in. Guess what? She just locked that tenant in. She's guaranteed herself. She's making money on the reseller tools and also locked a good tenant in because now the tenant has businesses and isn't going anywhere. And when it comes time to raise the rent, literally, the acupuncturist is going to go, sure. You know, I've got plenty of people now. I'm okay with paying an extra $50 a month for my room, whatever. So, so reach out, even if you don't think it's a good fit. You never know. So the first place to start with resellers is reach out to your existing customer base. And the way I always approach an existing customer base, by the way, I forget which one of you, I think it was Taylor asked me, but it might have been Misty, can we have some templates? I don't do scripts. I don't do templates. I hate them. Okay. Yes, it was Taylor. I don't do them because you can't personalize what you're doing. And a message to person A is going to work. And that same message to person B is going to tick them off and they're gone. It doesn't speak to them. At the worst case, they'll go, what is this? Why are they sending me this? This doesn't delete, unsubscribe, spam. Whereas if you took that extra step and tweaked that message to personalize it to them, it's a little extra work, but now you're speaking to them. So I don't do templates because your customer base is completely different than mine, is completely different than next person's is, you know, I know that, and this is kind of interesting, just so everybody knows, because the viewers probably don't know this, you two ran a really great, dynamic, powerful Facebook group for women, which you've now spread out and you're allowing everyone in. I had the privilege of being allowed to look in on that group and be added as a member, and saw what they were doing is fantastic. But the way you speak to that audience is going to be different than the way you speak to your open group that has everyone in there. So, for example, if you're going to reach out to your existing customer base about reseller partnerships, you're going to write one email for the people that were in your women's specific group for women entrepreneurs. And the one you send to your general group, you're going to use a whole different language, literally. You know, you'll be using different terms, different pain points, it'll be a completely different email. So that's why I don't do templates. So with that being said, the way to reach out to your customer base is first off to think about who that customer base is and maybe segregate your list if your message needs to be a little different. But you want to, I always start off with, hey, thanks for using our tools. I see you love them or you wouldn't be with us. Have you ever thought about, promoting them or referring them to other people that you know? If you love them so much, don't you know lots of people that would also get a lot of value out of it? And if that's the case, and then you can do one or two things at that point. You can say, hit me back for a conversation. I'll tell you how it works. Or you can say, we have a reseller opportunity available. Here's the link. You can put that right in the email. But that's basically the approach I take with existing customers. You know they love the tool, right? Or they're not going to be paying you for it. The ones that stop paying you for it and aren't using it aren't on your list anymore. You know, and if they are, they'll either come back at some point or they'll unsubscribe. No big deal. But the people that are paying you, you know they love the product. So a lot of those will think, well, yeah, I do love it. Of course I know people, think again about that masseuse in town. You know, they're local business people. Do they belong to a local leads group? Possibly. Do they know the owner of the local restaurants? Where are they going for leads? You know, what other business owners in the community do they know? Probably dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens. So they're from that perspective, they are a good fit. Because if they're an example, are you guys familiar with a company called BNI? It's a referral service. Okay, it's pretty big here in the States. It's a group of people. They're a big thing in there. You can get little chapters. And they're a group of people that meet once a week and have breakfast, usually. And some of the groups have lunch together, but usually it's a breakfast early in the morning, like a Wednesday morning. And they only allow one person in from one category. And you may have something in your area. This is a really good way to sell reseller partnerships, by the way. Also, so they meet in the morning, and what they do is it's a referral service. They share leads. But they only allow one person from each industry. So there might be one commercial real estate agent, one residential real estate agent, one life insurance agent, one realtor, one mortgage broker, one hairdresser, one barber, one restaurant. You know what I mean? They're usually service industries, one roofer, one, something like that. They're usually service industries. And the whole point of the group is, hey, when you're out there doing business, if you're an insurance agent, you're talking to your people and they need to get their credit done or figure out what's going on because they're getting ready to buy a house, get their name, give that name to the realtor, tell the person, hey, do you need a realtor? I got it. And they give it to the person in their BNI group. So they share referrals, right? So this Ms. Sue's example, if she belongs to a BNI, reseller partnership is a great thing to go in because she can go in and say, hey, I know we share referrals with each other and that's what we do, but I've also been getting a lot of business organically on social media. And I have a really great tool. It's not really part of our BNI referral service, but see, they have breakfast together every week, right? She knows these business owners. So she can just say to them, if you're interested, talk to me because I can make it available to you too. So those are the kind of things to think about. Who might they know that, they can offer the tool to? That's the first thing you need to get as a reseller. You need to be in front of people who have some type of a market for this or want to build a market. So with existing customers, think about the audience you're talking to. Who are your customers? Where do they come from? What do they know? Hit a couple of pain points. You know them, right? You've been meeting with them. Are they struggling in their business? If they are, then you might want to use hey, could you use a cash influx? That's the pain point, is lack of cash, right? So depending on their business, this might not take anything away from what they're doing, and it's an extra cash flow. So you could hit that pain point. Maybe your people are doing great, but they've hit a wall and they need an additional thing to sell to people. Well, if you know that, that's their pain point. Hey, would you like something to add to your portfolio of services? If you have someone that's a marketing agency, for example, it's a perfect fit. If they're a web designer, perfect fit for web designers, right? Would you like this person just built this website because you built it for them. And hey, great. What other services do web designers do? Well, they do SEO, or they refer SEO out for a referral fee, right? But social media organic marketing, well, hey, how are you going to promote your website? Have you thought about doing social media organic marketing? I've got some great tools for you. I'm going to maintain your website for $100 a month. For an extra $50 a month, I can give you these great tools. It's a perfect natural fit, right? So, but your audience. So what you need to do is think about, how do these tools, if they're going to resell these tools, how do the tools fit into their existing business model? Okay. And that's the pain point you want to hit them, right? I think it was Travis Sago I first heard this from. He said, Maybelline does not sell makeup. They sell beauty, right? They don't sell makeup. They sell beauty. If you watch their commercials, they don't mention makeup. Or if they do, it's very in the background. It's all about how you used to look and how you look now, how you're going to look better at your business meeting, how you're going to look better out of the club, how you're going to look better, whatever you're doing, right? So they don't sell makeup, they sell beauty. It's the same thing with software. It's the same thing with selling reseller partnerships. You're not selling software that they can resell. Nobody wants to do that. That's boring. Oh, how boring. I don't want to be a salesman. That's ridiculous. But hey, do you need something extra to add to your portfolio to take your income from 100K a month to 200K a month? Here's a great tool you can add right on top of what you're already doing. That's something that an entrepreneur can get behind, right? Or someone who's struggling in their business. Do you need another avenue of income? Here's a way that we can help you make that car payment, make that house payment, take some of that pressure off. You can focus more on your business because you've got this added to it. Those are the approaches that you want to take when you're reaching out to people, especially your existing customer base. Why? Because you know them. You know their pain points for the most part. And you'll even maybe know the people individually inside of your customer base that you don't want to get that mass email, or if they do, it's fine. You want to message them directly. Hey, I was thinking of you. The other day we were chatting and you mentioned, you needed something else. You hit a brick wall. I've got something for you. Let's get on Zoom and chat. Take a personal approach with that one. That always works better, right? It's more work, but you'll get a much higher closing ratio. So for reseller partnerships, I know it sounds kind of ridiculous because, well, of course I can go to my existing customers, but I'm surprised by the number of people that forget that. How do I find all these people when they've actually got people right there they can reach out to first? And the good thing also about reaching out to your people first is you can practice things. You can practice your pain points. You can practice your pitch. If you go out and you talk to 20 people that you thought were an absolute perfect fit for this, and none of them took you up on it, one, give me a holler before you hit 20. I'll help analyze it. But think about what are you saying? Where did it go wrong? And ask them, ask them, hey, I really thought this was a good fit for you. Do you mind sharing some insight with me and let me know why you didn't? Don't be afraid to ask people that. I learn more sometimes from the people I don't do business with than I do from the people that I do, if they're willing to be honest with me and tell me why they didn't do business with me. And they'll tell you. And if it's something you can't change, well, great, it wasn't a good fit. But if something you can change when you talk to the next person, then take those insights and use it to the next person you talk to. So any questions on that? Because I know that's probably not what you really want to hear from me. And I've got some things that are more in the area that you are actually asking about, but I have to cover that first because it's the best place to start.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It's just like how we tell our clients, like look for leads that are already on your friends list.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So we understand, like, of course, our initial question was about kind of the generation part of it, but it's good to be reminded about what's already there.
Yeah, good. Okay, so as far as generating new ones from people that aren't already there, after you've exhausted reaching out to the people that are, the nice thing too about reaching out to your people, they're usually an easier sale. And even if you only get one or two, I know the two of you put testimonials and review quotes and things on your sales pages for your software, right? Well, I've seen your reseller page, and I don't, there might be, but I don't really remember anything specific quote-wise on there. But the more resellers you get, make sure you get a quote from each of them, because now you can put testimonials on your reseller page, and it makes that when you go from your warm market and you get one or two sales, get them to do a video testimonial, get them to do a written testimonial, put that on your sales page. Now, when you're reaching out to the cold market and they say, do you have something I can look at? And you send them to your page, now they can get that social proof, which is super important. All right. I will say this, if you're getting ready to do reseller partnerships, if they're through my program, if you're reselling my stuff, come to me and say, Ed, do you have any quotes from any reseller partners that we can use? Because it's the same reseller program. It's legitimate for you to use that quote because it's exactly, you are reselling the exact same thing I'm selling. So the quotes are absolutely applicable. It's the same program. So point number one, especially when you're reaching out, this is some of the background work to do ahead of time, put some testimonials on there. And if I don't have any, or I don't have enough, or I think they're outdated, or I want more, that gives me incentive to go get some more, which helps me. And then I'll pass them on to you and it helps you. So, win-win. Okay. So going out and finding new people, there are a couple of things I recommend. First off, find like low-hanging fruit. You've heard the concept of low-hanging fruit, right? Why get a cherry picker or get a ladder and climb up in the tree and get the fruit up top when there's usually fruit that you can just reach out and pick? It's ready, it's ripe. It might even drop on the ground and boom, there it is. Okay. So you want those easy sales. You want the low-hanging fruit. And I shouldn't have said that because none of this is easy, but you can make it easier and simplify the process. So think about who is a good fit for a reseller. Okay. I already mentioned one big group of people, right? Web designers. Most web designers offer other services besides just web design. Now, if they only offer web design and you're talking to them, find out if they refer people, because maybe they're not a good reseller fit because that's not what they don't do add-on packages, but maybe they're a good one. And this will be a topic for a different day, but maybe they're a good, and I hate this word, but affiliate. I try not to get affiliates, but hey, maybe they'll go find you business and split the money with you and you can work something out with them. But a web designer that also offers other packages of other services, perfect fit. Social media agency, marketing agency, ad agency. You see these people out there that are selling Facebook ads. Boom. How perfect is that? Where are their people? If they're helping their people sell Facebook ads, where do those ads first show up? In Facebook, right? So what do you do with those tools? So if you can go out to an ad person, how are most of these ad people's pitches? We can improve your ROI. We can help you get more bang out of your investing dollar, right? Out of your advertising dollar. And I will never forget this conversation I had a year and a half ago with a realtor who said to me, Ed, I'm spending $2,000 a month on Facebook ads and I'm losing 25% of them. I said, why are you losing that high? She goes, it's all in Messenger. She goes, I can't find them. I talked to them, but then I talked to 100 people and they're way down in my Messenger list and I don't remember their name. And so she was actually going to add another $500 to her advertising budget to make up for the leads she was losing. So why don't you just buy a tool that will help you not lose those anymore? It'll cost you 10% of that cost, of that add-on cost, $50 a month instead of 500, you know? So, and she did, and it worked out great. So, you know, that's perfect for a Facebook ad company, because not only can they go to their clients and say, we can get you a better result on your ads, we can give you some tools that will help you handle those leads after our ads have brought them to you. That's an absolute perfect fit. So, so look for any social media ad agency, and any of the Genius tools are a good add-on for them. And if you want to look out for people that are doing LinkedIn ads, you know, we have tools for that too. So just make sure the tool that you're offering them to resell is a good fit for whatever their business is. But so that's the first group of people, is digital services, and the top ones are ads, marketing. There are people out there that do social content. Okay, this might be a good fit for them. They're doing social content for people. Well, what if they're doing social content for people and they are physically doing it, right? I don't know if they're giving them images, but some of them actually go in and post for them, right? And they might be using tools to do that, but none of them probably are doing it on personal profiles. They could add an entire section to their business and say, we'll provide the content and we'll give you this tool, Genius Scheduler, for example. You have to buy the tool and I'll give you the content. Or if their price is high enough, throw the tool in as a bonus. They could become a reseller for a tool just to give it away as a bonus, right? Because it enhances the value of what they're offering, of the service that they're offering. It's going to help with their churn rate. It's going to help them get new sales in. You know, here's your content, but we're going to help you. You know, Genius Scheduler, for example, also analyzes how those posts do. So we're going to give you the content, and then you can come back a month later and see which of that content worked best. And I can help you create more of that same content. So a social media content provider, perfect, absolute perfect person to reach out to. And I'm going to just, right now, I'm just talking about the types of people to reach out to and some of maybe their pain points or some of the things that might get them interested. I'll talk about how to find them and reach out to them towards the end of this. So that's a whole group of people that's perfect. And you would market to them in a particular way. For most of them, it's an add-on service, or it's a service that enhances what they're doing. Like the case with the ad people, you know, not only do you get great leads and cheaper leads, but we can help you not lose them and keep track of them and reach out to them better and all that stuff. So, you know, think of that fit. How does this fit into their work? Next group of people, financial services. All right. Now it's a little different here. For the end user tools, you want to reach out, for example, to the real estate agent, right? For a reseller license, you want to reach out to the reseller, to the real estate broker. Okay. Find a large brokerage. They might have, like we've got brokerages around here where I am. They have 120 agents. Now, the reality is 60 of them are part-time. 50 of the part-timers sell one thing a year and don't really study the business. And, you know, 60 of them are full-time. 20 of them are really part-time, but call themselves full-time because they're about to retire. They're doing something supplemental. And out of the other 40, 30 of them are really hardcore into social media. So, but still, out of 120 agents, a broker might have 30 hardcore people that he wants to see go do better business, right? Because when the real estate agent sells a house, the broker makes money. And in many cases, the broker makes the same as the agent does. They have the same incentive to get those sales in the agent's hand. So they could become a reseller, and then they could become a reseller and give the tools to their people. They don't have to sell them. That's a private deal, right? So maybe you want to give that person that has 30, maybe 25 of those people would use it. You want to sell them a 25-person reseller partnership. And if, you know, whatever you're going to charge, you know, 100, 200, 300, 400, depends how many things are in the package, 1,000 a month. If you're giving them a whole bunch of tools to use, maybe that's worth it to that broker to pay that $1,000 a month to get these tools in all of his agents' hands. And again, I'll talk about the approach later because there's a specific way to approach people like a broker. And a lot of these other people too, but mortgage companies, insurance companies, again, you're not looking at the agents, you're looking at the people that own their company. Some of them might have multiple people working out of their office, or they might run a team. You know, they might be part of a team. and again, we're dealing with financial services and services in that kind of sector, like mortgage brokers, insurance agents. I count real estate people in there, even though it's not technically financial. They have the same type of clientele. These are all people that have a one-on-one service. They're a person, they're dealing with a person, for the most part. If they're a commercial brokerage, this is probably not a good fit. If they're a residential brokerage, it would be. So, keep in mind who their people are. But yeah, that's a really good sector. And I have at least 3 partners that I know that do their specialty as insurance agents. I have one that I know of, actually 2 that I know of, whose specialty is credit repair. Okay. And he reaches out to credit repair companies and says, gives them these tools. And he's actually going to his people and selling the tools. Now you would think, why does somebody that needs to improve their credit need to use these tools? Well, he specializes in entrepreneurs that need to get their credit up so that they can then get business credit. Well, guess what? Perfect fit. Good way to grow your business, good way to keep your... So he's figured out this perfect angle for this little tiny niche that I would have never thought of that. I may have, but not as fast as he did. He's been doing it for a year now, and one of my top partners. So, even that, think about who can use these tools for their customers. And if you can come up with a spin on it and provide it to them, it really helps them rethink some of what they're doing with their business. So you could do beyond just giving them another income stream. So those are really good. Multi-level marketing companies. The companies themselves, one, because of the amount of licenses you're going to have to sell, are probably not your market. They would be my market. But what about people that run MLM teams? Okay, a guy who's a real hardcore MLMer. He's got 3,000 people in his downline, and he's trying to get them all active. Is this something he would want to offer to his people? Absolutely. And if he's got 3,000, you'll have to come talk to me, but I could authorize a 3,000 license deal. You know what I mean? So he's probably not going to give them to his people, but he would sell them at a very cheap discount. Hey, come on my team. Here are the tool package I give you. It's only this much extra money, blah, blah, blah. And again, he's got a recruiting tool. And he could work out an affiliate deal with his people and say, hey, when you bring on people, I'll let you make money off of the tools they buy. So now he's given them 2 income streams, the multi-level marketing income stream and the tools that they're going to use to help promote their multi-level marketing program. Okay. So MLMers are fantastic, and they're all over the internet. So how many times do you get in your messenger somebody promoting a multi-level marketing program and you go block, spam, delete? No, they're your client. And if they're a leader in the industry, if they're just an MLMer that's out there and doesn't know what they're doing, they're a good provider of the tools, and you can teach them how to do better outreach than cold messenger marketing spam. So you can help them in more ways than one. And that may even be like a coaching add-on for you. Or not only will I sell you the tools, I'll give you some training. You can do this all video, so everybody gets the same training, right? You don't have to spend any time beyond the first one. I'll give you some training. I'll show you much better outreach techniques to grow your business faster, where people won't be flagging you for spam with Facebook and you get restricted and all of that, because they all go through that, right? So, but keep an eye out for the ones that have a team. That might be the first question to ask them. Hey, I see your program is multi-level marketing. I think that's great. How do you like it? How big's your team? You start asking questions like that, they think, oh, this person knows MLM. They're a possible recruit for me. You're not, probably, right? But in their mind, you are. Guess what? They're going to talk to you all day long. They're going to answer any question you throw. You're going to find all their pain points, and now you can show them what the reseller program can do for their multi-level marketing team, right? Fantastic group of people. Yeah, that's a wonderful group. Okay, so who else? Small brick and mortar companies, okay, but ones that deal with the public on a personal level. Okay, I'll give you an example. I love marketing to restaurants, but most of the Genius tools are not real great for restaurants. Scheduler might be if they're doing social media posts all the time and they're using a personal profile rather than their business page. But ones that are more personal, right? And you might not even think of these, right? Plumbers, electricians, roofers, your local handyman, your junk dealer, your guy that'll come in and get rid of your junk. A lot of those, you see them on Facebook. I know a guy who has a private private taxi cab, right? And he's got a little pickup truck, and he's like a 4-door or whatever. And he's in a little tiny town, and he markets himself to the town. They don't have a taxi company. It's a little tiny rural town, but he rents out his vehicle. Obviously, it's a rural area. They don't have this license. He's been around since before Uber or any of that stuff came into business. And he just markets on Facebook, reaching out to people, right? So any local business that deals mostly from their personal page and tries to let people on Facebook know, hey, I'm doing this, maybe even an auto mechanic. People, small service-oriented businesses that are local. This is great. And it's outside the scope of this training, so I'm not going to do it. But I can take somebody like that, like your local roofer, and show them how to find leads on Facebook. And the two of you probably can too, very well. So think about that. Now, why would your roofer, why the roofer would want a end user license? Why would your roofer want a partnership? Because that's probably what you're thinking. Well, I can go sell this to a roofer. Why would the roofer want a partnership? Because if the roofer uses the tools and gets his business up, who is that roofer working with? Does he probably refer out business to the local window installer, the local plumber, the local electrician? My roof's leaking. It got in and it blew out my fuse box. That roofer's going to refer an electrician. He's got a network of people that he works with, right? All of these small business owners do. Same thing back with the BNI thing. They may not be doing it through a formal lead sharing program, but I guarantee all these small local business owners are looking for extra cash and have a network of local people. Okay. So get the tools in their hands, let them use it to grow their business, and then say, how's an extra side income for you? When you start getting extra contracts and you're already referring business to the electrician, and you go to that electrician and say, hey, look at these tools I've been using. They're fantastic. They've grown my business. You can use them the same way. They're only $97 a month for these 2 tools or 3 tools. If that guy, even if he only ever sells 5 or 6 of these, and you sell him a partnership at a reasonable price, he's just got enough money coming in free extra for doing no work except mentioning something to cover his car payment every month or his mortgage payment every month. These aren't going to be people that are going to buy 100, 200, 300 level accounts, but they'll buy 10 from you or 25. And in reaching out to them about the reseller partnership, I don't think I would do the reseller partnership with them first. I would reach out to them with the tool. And as soon as you see they're having success with the tool, ask them for a testimonial and tell them about the reseller partnership. Say same thing as going to your clients, right? You're using the tool, you love it. I know you've got local people that could probably use it too. I got a way you can add a little side money for helping me promote the tool. Here's how it works, right? So that one would be, these local people will be kind of a multi-step approach. You wouldn't go straight in with the reseller opportunity, but they're great end user customers that have the potential to buy a small reseller partnership from you on the back end. All right. So that's kind of all I'm going to talk about the types of people. There are many more out there, but I think I've got your brain rolling now. Like, okay, how do we identify these people and how do they use it? So if there are any, I'll stop for a minute and see if you have any questions or want to discuss anything about that, we can. And then I'll talk into how do you reach out to these people cold and how do you get the conversation started? So anything about what I've done so far about the market and the targets and who you're reaching for and that kind of stuff?
No, all clear.
Okay.
I'm good. You're right though. My brain is like, oh.
Yeah, this is why I don't understand, people come in the software industry and a lot of them make a lot of money. There's a lot of money to be made in here. You know that, right? It's unbelievable. There is no ceiling. There is no sky. Forget thinking outside the box. There is no box. It doesn't exist, right? So when I see people come in, they go, I don't have anybody to sell to. Bullshit. Bullshit. And I don't cuss. I really don't.
I was about to say, I'm turning off my mic I'm turning back on the mic for this. I just heard bullshit. I call bullshit.
Yeah. The reality is they don't know how to reach out to those people. They don't know what to say. They're nervous. They're scared. They're timid. They want to get all the pieces perfect before, that's the reality. But when I hear, nobody, there's no market, there's nobody to sell to, there's no money, there's no bullshit. Right. So with that being said, there are a couple of ways to reach out to cold people. And again, I don't use templates, right? I hate templates because the template that you're going to send to the multi-level, the words that you're going to say to your guy running a multi-level marketing team are completely different than the words that you're going to say to the real estate broker that has those 120 agents. The template that works for one will turn the other one off. The template that works for the other one will turn him off. It just won't work. They're so far worlds apart. First off, their pain points, while similar, are completely different. Okay, there is some overlap in there, but they're different, and the way they're going to use the tool is different. You know, a real estate broker, for example, is not going to be looking probably to grow his amount of licenses. So it's very important with the real estate broker to find out how many agents he has, how many use social media, how many are willing to use or at least try out new tools. That's his number. Is that number going to grow over time? Yes, but it might go from 20 to 30 in 2 years. It might go from 25 to 40 in 3 years. It's not going to be like an MLMer who says, I need 3,000 licenses today, and in 6 months, can I buy another 3,000? It's a completely different conversation. Okay. For the real estate broker, you want to spend time up front finding what his needs are, what his growth level is, you know, that kind of thing, before you offer him a package, because that's probably going to be his package. Okay. And the real estate broker is in a high ticket market, right? So he can sell a set of tools to his people for $200 a month. They'll buy it and he can make some money, or he can just give it to them. And he would be willing to eat the cost of the partnership, because one sale from one agent pays for his entire partnership probably for 6 months or more, right? So you can charge that real estate agent $500 for 25 licenses, probably not, but you know what I'm saying, a high dollar amount for a small number of licenses, whereas the MLMer is looking at bulk, and he's probably going to try to charge $5 a license, $10 a license, because he just wants a quick add-on sale to his commissions that he's earning from his downline, right? He's just looking for a little, and he's not going to market on the internet other than to say, hey, join my team and you'll get these extra tools, you know, at a low cost. He's not going to, so he doesn't come under the minimum advertised pricing guidelines of anything. So your goal with him is to sell high volume, cheap per license cost. You know, you could get $1,000, $1,500 a month partnership out of a multi-level marketing person, but you're going to do that because he wants 1,500 licenses. He doesn't want to pay $10 a license or $15 a license like the realtor would be willing to do. He wants to pay $1 a license. Great. We'll get him in that place where he can get it for $1 a license, or he can get it for $1.50 a license. And you want to talk to him about growth. MLMers, whether it's reality or not, their mindset's all about growth. And in their mind, they're going to double their downline every 6 months, right? Or every year. That's what they're going for. Whether that's reality or not is immaterial to the discussion, right? But that's where their mind comes from. I need more. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need more. I'm going to need more. So what you want to do is do things like, and if you lock in at this price, which I'm about to change, if you need more licenses, I'll sell you that same package again. You'll be grandfathered in at that price. So when you need your next 1,000 licenses, that'll be the additional cost. When you need your next 1,000 licenses, that'll be your next cost. Well, you're not even going to have a conversation like that with the realtor. So again, think about who are you talking to? Who's your market? What are their needs for now and for the future? Because that's how the conversation is going to go. So I'm kind of getting a little ahead of myself because that's not in how you reach out to them, but you need to think the whole conversation through before you reach out to them, because it will affect that initial approach. All right. You don't want to mention to a realtor, oh, by the way, you know, we can get you as many licenses as you need. He doesn't care about that. That could be a super hot button, even in an initial or one of the beginning parts of the conversation. To a multi-level marketer, that could be one of his main concerns. Well, how many licenses can I get? The realtor's not even going to think of that question. And if you bring it up, he's going to say, oh, I'm too small of a fish for this person. I'm not a good fit. And they'll talk themselves out of it because they don't think they're a good fit for you, right? So you have to be careful of the language you're speaking to your target. And is it their language? Is it something that fits with their perception, their perspective? So can you create your own template to send out cold? Yes. But one, make sure it's a template and not a script. Okay. It's not the same thing to everyone. And make sure it is not, too generic, right? It needs to be audience specific. So with that said, and everybody hates this. What I'm going to say now is going to be the thing that everybody groans and turns off the training and says, I'm done, I'm not doing this. Always add the personal touch. Okay. So let's say you use a tool like Infinite Business Leads, okay, to go out to Google businesses, and you find yourself a list of real estate brokerages in Chicago, in all of the suburbs of Chicago. You've got yourself a nice list of 1,000 real estate brokers, okay? How do you reach out to them? Well, you could come up with a really good template based on the information I've told you and some of the pain points. You know, hey, how's it going? You know, we've got something that could add some extra oomph to your brokerage. It can help your agents. It can help your business. It can get you more sales. It's an extra income stream. First off, there are two things wrong with that approach. One is you're trying to sell them, okay? You're asking for, again, as Travis Sager likes to say, you're asking for a marriage and you haven't even had a coffee date yet, okay? Most of them are just going to be spam, 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 spam. And even if they didn't look at it as spam, is it going to speak to them as a business owner? Probably not, okay? So here's where the work comes in, but this is what will get you results. Take your list of 1,000 leads or whatever you've got, and you've got their website on there, right? If you're using Infinite Business Leads, for example, you've got their website. Go to their website. What is their specialty? Do they specialize in lakefront homes? Do they specialize in, single family homes? Do they specialize in condos? How do they have teams? Do you see teams of realtors on their website? This team and this team, are they all individual realtors? How big is the brokerage? Spend 5 minutes and go through their website and come up with 2 or 3 little facts about their website, and then send them an email and ask about it. Hey, do you guys still offer lakefront properties in your area? I see on your website that's a specialty. Is that something you still do? Well, what do they think? What is their first thought? Do they think you're going to sell them software tools? Money. Misty got it. Money, 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 money. Hey, here's a potential customer. Are they going to open your email? Do you still sell lakefront homes? If that's their specialty, are they going to open that email? Absolutely. Are they going to reply and answer your question? And what have you just started? A conversation. A conversation. So everybody wants to send out a template. We're all into automation, right? So we want to send out a template. We want to automate it. We want the replies. We want the sales to come in automatically. Can you do that? Absolutely. It will work. I get resellers all day long from automation. But if you took that extra 5 minutes per lead, okay, and did it on a personal level and got a conversation going, do you think you would have a higher conversion rate? Absolutely.
100%. Yeah.
100%. No question. Now you're looking at, instead of maybe getting 2 or 3% of them in, maybe now you could get 10 or 15 or 20 or 30% of them in, because you've got to, and then follow it up as a conversation. Oh yes, we absolutely have Lakeview Homes, blah, blah, blah. Get in a conversation with them, whether it's on Messenger, whether it's over email. If you can take that conversation in Messenger, you can expedite and speed up the process a little bit. Now, you never want to deceive them, okay? You never want them to actually say you're looking for lakefront property, unless you are, right? In the example I'm using. But you can use that as a lead-off question. And you could even say, oh, that's fantastic. And as you're talking to them, you could almost start asking them questions. What are some of the difficulties in getting your lakefront property sold, in finding customers and things? Get a conversation going, right? Transition it into a conversation. Are they going to at some point go, well, are they trying to sell me something? Possibly. Again, I'm going to quote Travis, give them something before you ask for something. So this is a brokerage you're hoping to get a reseller license from, right? Can you afford to just give them the tool to try it out and see how it works? Absolutely. So what about if you started out, well, the reason I was asking is I'd like to give you something. If I have something I can give you that can help you get more customers looking for lakefront homes, would that be something I could give you? Okay. If you ask to sell something, walls are up, right? Oh, no. But you're asking to give them something that will help. Even if they don't come out with an outright yes, are they going to be curious, and are you continuing the conversation? So Find a subject line, research, find something specific to their business that you know they're going to open, a question you know they're going to respond to, and then give them something. And in our case, we can give them the software, right? We don't even have to give it to them forever. We can say, let me give you this, try it out and use it for 30 days. If it works, I'd like to put it in the hands of your agents and we can work out a deal where you can make money on that if you want. And if we do that, you can just keep the tool for yourself forever. So what are you doing? You're adding one more license, right, to the sale. And if you don't, after 30 days, you turn off the license, you take it back, you go give it to somebody else, right? Not a problem. So you're being personal, you're customizing your message to them. You are starting a conversation rather than a sales pitch, and then you're giving them something. Once you offer to give them something, now you can get into your pitch because you're giving them what they need to do that. Here's how it works. Here's how I think it's going to be good for your real estate agents. Here's how this, here's how that. Now, with a real estate broker, and this is not just real estate brokers, I'm using this as an example because I've done real estate brokers a lot in the past, but it applies to other industries. Anybody who's got a team of people, MLMers it works for too, right? You can put this tool in the hands of that MLM, that hot MLM guy, right? Let him use it. Let him see it, because if he actually sees the value in it, he's going to come back to you, hey, can I resell this? Right. So you want to let him know he can before you put it in his hands, but you know what I'm saying? Now it's a different conversation if they're using the tools, which I'm sure you've already seen, right? You do a free trial for somebody. If they never open the tool, how fast do they cancel before the free trial is up? If they start using the tool, how fast did they cancel? Not very fast at all, if ever. So, but even if they do, it's over a much longer period of time. So reach out to them and give them something, give them the tool. Now with a real estate broker, it doesn't matter if he gets the partnership or not, because even if he goes, hey, this is good, it works, I think it can work for my real estate agents, but I don't like this reseller thing, it's not working for me. Now you have two options you can go to. You can talk to him about a team license. What if I'll handle all the account setup, I'll handle that up, but what if I sold you 20 licenses for your team, for your top agents to use? Would that be good for you? Sure, yeah, we can. And that now you got another. So that's your downsell one, right? You got your offer as a resale partnership. Downsell one is a team license. And then if he says, no, I don't want to do that, now you can still say, would you be willing to reach out to your agents and let them know the tools available, and I can deal with them personally one-on-one? Because if you're reaching out to the real estate agents and you contact them directly, what's your chances of getting a response back? Whatever your normal chance is. But if their broker says, hey, I came across a pretty neat tool, you might want to talk to Misty and Taylor, what are the chances of them communicating you? Much higher, right? This is coming from their broker. So, and you could even say, hey, anybody who signs up, I'll give you a little kickback if you want it. Some of them don't want that. They don't even want a referral. And then think about if they take the reseller opportunity, okay, you're golden. And you can add value to that, right? Like, hey, if you're to the MLM, or if you're going to put this in your multi-level marketing company, I will go on and do a live training for a group of people over Zoom to get the tool kicked off, and we'll record it and give you a copy of the recording so that as new people come into your downline and they get the tools, you can give them the recording to show them how to use it. So you're adding extra value to what they have, because that's one of the objections. Oh, I got to sell this and then teach them. No. You just got to sell the tool. We handle support. We handle training. Okay. Huge upsell for reseller partnerships. There's your value. One thing I did with brokers, that if they took the reseller license or not, I would do a training for them. But if they took the reseller license, I would just do a quick training and then let them have the recording and give it out to people. But if they took, excuse me, let me get a sip of water. Too much talking, getting too excited. I love this stuff. So you're talking to the broker, he takes the resale license, that's great. But if you do the downsell and he takes the team license, I would sell him a team license, for example, for Genius Messenger CRM only. And then I would say, I'll do a training, 1 hour on Friday. Find out from him, what's the slow time for your agents? When do you do your sales meeting? Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. What time is it done? 11. Do they usually race out to lunch right away? No, they mess around in the office. Great. I'd like to set up a training at 11:15 on Tuesday morning. Find the best time when the agents will be around. And I get on and I train them the Genius Messenger tool. But I talk about, while I'm doing it, Genius Connector, Genius Birthday Post, Genius this. And then guess what? Now I've got a rapport with these agents. I'm live on Zoom. I'm training them. I'm teaching them how to use this, how to organize their leads, how to tag their people, how to do this specifically for the real estate industry. And by the time it's done, they know I have a half a dozen other tools. and they have a relationship with me and they like me because I just taught them how to use that. And now when I sell the tools, I'm not going through the broker, I'm selling them personally, retail price, or put a package together for that group. I give you all three of those tools. So now you got your $300 or $400 a month license from the broker and maybe $100, $150, $200 a month package from half of the realtors that came onto your training. So now you've taken something, you reached out to this broker, you spend a lot of time on it. You only got $300 a month, but now you do the training and now all of a sudden you're at $1,000 a month because you got half a dozen other people on board for other packages. So always think about when you're doing this, how can you leverage it, right? And one way to do that if you're selling reseller packages is sell them separately. Okay, so you go into the MLMer and you say, I've got these tools for you. Don't sell the tools as a package. You can, but sell him, maybe the main thing that the guy wants for MLM is Genius Connector, because they want to go in their mind, they want to go spam people on social media or whatever. Okay. But sell them, you sell them a connector license. You say, hey, we have this Genius Messenger, whichever one, it doesn't matter which one you front end, but if you get this reseller license is normally X dollars, but because it's a second one that you got from me, I give you 25% off. You get a third one, I give you 50% off on the third one, whatever. Discounted pricing for more packages. Because if you put them as a package, maybe you could sell an MLM or a package for $400 a month, but you could probably sell them the base item for $300 a month and three other items for $100 a month a piece because they're add-ons. Well, now you're at $600 a month and it seems like a great deal to him instead of $400 a month as a package. That doesn't always work for users. But it works really well in the reseller space when you're selling reseller partnerships. So cold outreach, you want to turn it into warm outreach. Okay. You want to start a conversation. And I know from a company that does automation stuff, people don't want to hear that. They don't want to do the work, but I'm telling you, that's the way to do it. Now, once you get a bunch of resellers on board and you have testimonies, you could throw the automation out there. You could do your IBL list, do your infinite business leads list, and send it to Chirply and slam them with emails and text messages. That's great because now they're going to a page with social proof on it, videos from other resellers in their industry, right? Okay. Now they're like, oh, wow, I at least need to have a conversation with this person. So is that helpful? Does that help a little bit in how to get some of that off the ground?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Very valuable.
Sure.
What questions do you have on any of that?
I do have a question about team licenses.
Yes.
As it's not really something we've looked into yet or been busy with, but how, logistically, would you then keep the whole, setting up the accounts and everything on your end inside
Yes.
QB in the dashboard? So if they get new employees or team members changing, people leaving, they just hit you up hey, Ed, I have someone new coming on, but this guy left the team. Can you change, create this license?
Yes, that's exactly how you do it. You can automate that. Set up a Google Sheet, run it through Zapier. Yeah. You get a new person, add it to the Google Sheet. If you need to delete a person, you could have a second one for delete people. If you have a person to delete, add their email to this Google Sheet. Have the Zap wipe them out, right? So you can automate that process for them, but yes, you want to handle with a reseller. And that's the big difference between a reseller and a team license. Great question. Mm-hmm. The reseller, they're handling all the account. They're setting them up either manually or using Zapier. The real estate broker is just going to go in there and manually create them and they'll suspend them and add new ones when a new agent comes on. The MLM guy's not going to deal with that. He's got a huge downline. He's going to set up a Zapier automation. And of course, if he's never used Zapier, let him know he needs a Zapier account. He's probably, if he's got multiple licenses, he's probably going to want a multi-step Zapier account, so premium, and offer to set those apps up for him, right? There's a great value add, offer to set those apps up for him. So, but with a team license, you're doing all the work. That is the big difference. And as far as pricing goes, what I usually start with, I know what my end user cost is. Let's say a particular software is costing me $3 for a license and I'm selling it for $37 a license, just to use as an example. Well, I know I've got $34 I can play with on the team license. I will probably, and it depends on the size of the license, but I will probably do 50% off, 60% off, 70% off. If that real estate agent wants 10 licenses, great. I'll give you 10 licenses for the cost of 5 as a team license. Cut them in half. I need 60 licenses. Great. Normally they're $37 a piece. You need a few of them. I'll let you have them for $12 a piece, 2/3 off, something like that. That's still, 25 times 12, you're still at a $300 a month deal for one deal. So not too shabby. A little bit more work in there, but not a lot. With the real estate agent, you're going to set them up. How often do they bring new agents in? Twice a year. And how many do they bring in? 4, 5, 6. So, your work level is not that onerous. Great question though. And I don't start with team licenses. Usually I always try to get them in resellers because it's less work for you. And the pricing's usually about the same. But yeah, so something else. Well, yeah, we'll leave that. We'll leave that alone. Any other questions on outreach? Is there anything that I haven't answered or that you want to know more about? And what do you think of that outreach approach? Is that something you can do, that you can figure out?
Yeah, we're pretty good at outreach.
Yeah.
I am curious to know, and I guess it depends on it's probably a different answer for the different stages of business you've gone through. But what do you find that you're using more for outreach? Is it email? I know that you're a fan of also calling people.
Yes.
Or is it DMs? Like what do you prefer?
Quite honestly, I try to figure out how they like to be contacted. And again, I'll use a real estate broker's as an example. If their phone number is all over the place on their website and you have to search and search and search for a Facebook link or an email, guess what they prefer? Telephone.
Yeah.
Use it. That's their preferred method of communication. Right? If they've got their email address plastered everywhere and you have to go to the about page to find their phone number, I would send them an email and maybe follow up with a phone call if I haven't heard back from them in 3 days. Put it on a spreadsheet, put a date, come back in 3 days, talk to the secretary, or whoever. Hey, I sent an email. I just wanted to make sure I haven't gotten a response yet. You can always do follow up. If their Facebook page is the big thing at the top of the thing, then I use DMs. Okay. And it might be a business page. I might start in Messenger rather than quick chat or something like that, but try to figure out what their preferred method of communication is. My default method of communication, if I can get away with it, is Messenger. I love Messenger. It's easy. It's quick. It's in writing. I love it too that if you work out a deal with somebody using Genius Messenger, you can download the conversation. You've got the details of the deal right there in Messenger. You can always refer to them if there's any misunderstanding.
You can label and tag them.
You can label and tag them.
Yeah. I do have another follow-up question because nothing on the strategy and approach is very similar to what comes natural for us and what we already do. Like we like to put in a bit of extra work and really personalize our messaging. But because we are now making quite a big shift with our automation company compared to what we've been doing before, because both Taylor and I used to work with mainly small business owners. And now we're looking more at bigger businesses with more employees. And the one thing that I run into is that when you reach out to them, whatever way, whether that's email or in the DMs, that a lot of the time you're just talking to their VA or someone else, and how to break through that barrier and get to the people you actually want to speak to, and not just them discarding it and not even delivering a message to someone who might be very, very interested.
That's a fantastic question. And the answer has already been given. Give them something. I have something I want to put in their hands and give them, but I need to speak with them directly to do that. You're not trying to sell them something. You're not, you got a VA that there's something that's going to help their person. And you can, if it's a VA, you can hit them on there. Hey, look, obviously you want to grow the business, and the better the business is and the stronger the business is, the more job security you have on this particular project you're working on. I've got something I'd like to put in the hands of the owner that I think will help you Remember who you're talking to, right? It's got to be the benefit to them. I think it'll help you as well as the company. What's the best way to get directly in touch with them? Oh, you need to hit them up on their personal Facebook profile. You need to call them. You need whatever. It doesn't matter. Again, whatever their preferred means of communication is. But I would withhold the gift until you've talked to them. So when I say I've already covered it, it's the gift. But the strategy in this case is withhold it. I have something for you, but you can't have it until I talk to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
You can also ask questions. Always think about what are their pain points, what are their needs, right? Like the MLMer, his needs is he just needs outreach, right? He needs volume. They all go by this 3-second rule, which I completely disagree with in multi-level marketing. But a lot of them go with this 3-second rule. Talk to everybody. You're within 3 feet of them, talk to them. Well, great. If I disagree with the strategy, but if that's their mindset, I'm going to use that in the opening conversation. Do you, it might be a question. Do you use it? Again, it's a conversation, not a sales pitch, right? So do you use the 3 feet rule? How does that work for you? Does it work well for you out in the grocery store and places like that? Get them talking about it because this is their passion, right? They're going to talk to you about whether that works for them. I don't care what their answer is. If they say, oh, no, it doesn't work. Well, great. I feel the same way. Now I can really get involved in that conversation. If they say, oh, it's fantastic. I teach all my people. Well, now I can spin that conversation a little bit. And I say, what if you could take that 3 feet rule and apply it online to your virtual 3 feet, everybody that's within 3 feet of you online, and automate that outreach process. Whoa, what are you talking about? Well, I've got a tool. I'd love to give you a copy of it. Whoa, wait, now you got his attention, right? Again, walls are down. You're not trying to sell them something. And, and then you tell them why you're giving it to them, use it, make sure it works. If it does, I've got a way that you can put this tool in all of your people's hands, and I can let you make the money on doing that rather than me. What? Now, for an MLMer, you got his attention. For the real estate broker, you're not going to, that's not his, whoops, my light, I just knocked my light off. Hold on 1 second. For the real estate broker, there we go. You're not, the 3 foot rule is not applicable to them. The 3 foot, that doesn't mean anything. So you're not going to bring that into the conversation as a way to give them the tool. But you might use something, maybe what's the real estate broker's pain point, right? And if you've done some research in the industry, one of their pain points is, beating the competition, getting to the competition faster, because people search for things online. And if they don't get a response back, right away, what do? They keep looking. And what realtor do most people work with when they're looking online? The first one they actually talk to, right? Well, if they're in Messenger, and let's say, I'll just pick a tool. Let's say they're using GeniusBot, right? Beth and Evan, right? The person's not there. They don't get an immediate response, but they get a bot that says, hey, we got your message. Thank you very much. The realtor's out. This is my automated system. You'll get a call from us within 3 hours. Great. Maybe that person will stop looking. Or if they do, they'll at least in their mind, they've got a little bit. So these are the things that the brokers might be thinking about when you're talking to them. So when you're talking about giving them the tool that you're going to withhold, say, oh, this is tied together. I know I ramble sometimes, but I do bring it back. Giving them the tool you're going to withhold, the VA knows these pain points, right? So you could say to that VA, I've got a tool that can make sure that the broker is in touch with his customers before his competition is, which is going to help you out as well. How do I get in touch with that broker? I'd like to give him the tool. How do I get in touch with him? Because I have to do it directly. Well, is that VA going to pass it on? Probably, right? No guarantee. There's no guaranteed way to get through that gatekeeper, but you've just increased it because, especially if you can tie it into him. Hey, if that broker's getting in touch with people first, you can, and we've got the way to do that. You can do your job better and send them more people. We can help them get in touch with them faster, which will lock the deals down and make you look better too. What's the tool? I'm sorry, I need to talk to the owner about that, but I'm going to give him the tool. It's not going to cost him anything, but I need to speak to him or her, about that. So that's a good way to get past a VA, is withhold that gift. Let them know why you want to give it. Let them know what it's going to do. Make sure you cover some pain points, and then take it away. Give it to them. All the great features. It does this, it does this, it does this, and then take it away. And your boss can get it when I talk to him or her.
Yeah.
Because if you tell the VA about it, oh, it's a tool, it does this, it does that, and you get into the specifics of how it works, the VA is not going to be thinking about how it benefits the business. The VA is going to be thinking about, does this replace anything I do? I'm not telling the owner about that. No fucking way. Not happening. Right. So always think about who you're talking to in their perspective and their mindset. So if you make it, tell them just enough that it's going to help the business, it's going to help you, but I'm going to give it, I have to speak to the owner. But if you give them too many details, they might think about how it could have negatively affect their position, and then the message never gets passed on. Great question. Yeah. We run into that all the time. If you do phone work, a little tip, if you do phone work, be angry when you call. If you know there's a secretary answering the phone and you know the owner's name is John Jones, and they answer the phone, hey, such and such realty, it's John Jones in, this is Ed, I need to speak to him right now. Hey, you got Ed's on the phone. They don't ask too many questions sometimes when you sound angry. Isn't there a reason that, hey, how's it going? It's Ed, got something I want to give you, whatever your conversation, but now you got the person on the phone you want to talk to. Because otherwise, who is this? What's it in reference to? If it sounds like you're angry about something, they don't want to ask what it's in reference to because they know you're going to yell at them about it. And they don't want to be yelled at. They're just going to pass the phone call on. So
brilliant. I love this.
There are little tricks that you can do to help your outreach. But the thing is, use emotion to get them, the pain points and things. And what is they always want new bit, like with the realtor that sells lakefront properties. Do you still sell lakefront properties? Well, your real question is, I have a tool that can help you sell more of them. Do you want to buy it? But you don't want to mention your tool. You don't want to mention them buying anything. You don't want, they're done. You're spam, you're a salesman. They don't want you. They get 1,000 of those a day. Do you still sell lakefront homes? Absolutely. And now you can shift the conversation. Great. What area, you could even follow up a little bit. What areas do you specialize in? Well, I'm in this region. Because one thing you could do is you could hop on Facebook and look for some buy-sell groups and things like that in that region. Are they good outreach locations on Facebook for realtors? Absolutely, right? So you have tools that can help them engage with those places. So you're thinking pain points. How is this going to benefit them? And then when you talk about what you're going to give them, I'm going to give you something that can help you get in these local groups. I see there are 5 local groups. Well, now you sound like a local, right? I see there are 5 local buy-sell groups, within a half hour of that lake, within an hour of that lake. I can help you get your agents in those groups and get better results out of those groups to find leads. What? And I'll give you the tool to do it. Okay, great. What's the catch? Well, the catch is, if you like it, I'd like you to buy some for your agents. You can tell them that at that point, because you've already told them you're giving them the tool.
Yeah.
So
helpful?
Definitely.
Yeah, very much so. Now we just need to put together our plan.
Yeah. Don't spend, my word of advice on that is, don't spend too much time working on a plan. What I would do is, actually, the best way to take action on this, in my opinion, is go industry specific. Pick one. Do you want to reach out to real estate brokers? Do you want to find multi-level marketing people? Do you want to find, figure one little place. And if you've got some experience in that industry and you can talk their language, it makes it easier to find the pain points. So maybe start with one that you have a little bit of knowledge about, where you can find the pain points, you can find the solution-oriented things. You can, talking about the beauty and not the makeup in the Maybelline example. If you've already got some industries that a lot of that background info, there's less setup work to do. So I would start with that and pick one. Just pick one. Don't try to don't go into infinite business leads, for example, and go, let's find brokers in Chicago. Oh, great. Let's do insurance agents too. Oh, let's do hairdressers. That's not going to work. Well, it might, but you're going to get distracted with multitasking stuff. So find one industry, get a piece of paper, write down all their pain points, write down, if they were to be given a gift, what would they want to be given? They don't want to be given software, right? The guy that sells the lakefront properties does not want to be given software. But if he could be given more social media leads for people looking for lakes, that's what he wants. That's what you're giving him. You're not giving him the tool, you're giving him the solution. So when you're having this conversation, that's how you want to approach it. So while you're doing your preliminary work and you're putting your plan together, write that stuff down. What are the actual pain points and what are the actual solutions? Because that's what you're giving. You're giving them the solution, not the software tool. In fact, you don't even need to let them know it's a software tool. I've got something I'm going to give you. You can say something. It does, you know what I mean? Get the focus off the software and on the solution. So find your industry, write down their pain points, write down their solutions, because that's going to wind up being the gift that you give them is the solutions. And then go out and say, let's go find these people. Let's go find a group. And you don't have to start, you don't need 1,000 real estate brokers in Chicago if that's where you want to start. I wouldn't even necessarily find the top 10. If you do a Google, let's say you go to Google My Business and Infinite Business Leads, don't take those first 10 or 20 or 30. Take the next 10 or 20 or 30, because they're the ones that are trying to get their ranking. Don't go to the last page because they don't care, right? They're out of business. They're, golfing, whatever. They're not focused on their business. But it's like always go after page 2 and 3 in Google, never page 1. And that's not true. You always go for page 1, but focus on page 2 and 3 because they're the ones that really want to make that difference. They're the ones that you say, I have a tool to bring you more business. They're the ones that are going to go, really? And what if you know who those 10 people are on the top, right? And you happen to throw that out. Hey, don't be afraid to tell them this. Hey, this could be one of their pain points. I see you're on the second page of Google Business Listings. That's tough. I've been there. I know, but I've got some tools. I'm not saying I've got tools to bring you up in the listings, but I've got tools to make up for the difference, and you'll get some results as if you were on the first page. You'll get some additional customers as if you were. It doesn't matter if you never get to the first page. We can give you those same results, and I'll give you the tool to do that. Okay, so these are some other approaches you can take. So, but know where they are when you're doing your list. I would start at the top, and I would go for that number 1. But the number 1, it's a different conversation. If you're in conversation, I see you're number 1 in Google My Business. That's fantastic. Wow, that's great. And I know you've got lots of business, and I know you love crushing your competitors, or you wouldn't have done the work to get number 1. So I'm going to give you something to crush them even harder, So, right? Think about what they love. Those people have put that work in. That's important to them. And why did they do it? They did it to become number 1. So you're going to give them a tool to help them lock that position in, So that's an additional pain point. But think of all these pain points, because that's where your conversation is going to begin. That's where once you pivot from get them to open the DM, get them to answer the phone, get them to answer your initial question, get them to respond to your email. When you start pivoting the conversation into, what you actually want to do, the reseller thing. You don't have to go for the sale either. Don't be afraid to say, maybe you want to do a Zoom with them. Maybe you don't want to try to do everything over DMs and emails. Maybe your goal is to get on Zoom because you can just converse with them better and do screenshots and show them that. Then make that your goal when you're talking to them. I want to put something in your hands that's going to do ABC. I don't know if it's a good fit for you. You can be honest with that. I have no idea if it's going to be a good fit for you. It's been a good fit for other real estate agents. It's been a good fit for other MLMers. It's helped other real estate agents retrieve 25% of their lost leads that they have in Messenger, for example. I can help you find those leads and never lose them again. And I think it's going to be a good fit, but I need to have a conversation. Can we help on Zoom for 10 minutes? What's a good time for you? You don't necessarily have to go straight for the sale. Again, more work. People don't want to do that. They want to go for the sale and get the yes or the no and get the money or move on to the next one. Put a little work into it. And I know you two are not afraid of doing that. So, which is one reason I'm talking to you and doing this training for everyone else with you guys, because I know you'll take action on it. So, but yeah, put your plan together. But remember, don't start with a list of people to contact. That's not the place to start. Pick your industry, find the pain point, find the solutions. How do you want to mention those solutions as a gift? And then think about, once you get them, what's your goal? Do you just want to go into let me get this tool in your hand and give it to you? Or do you want to go for a Zoom conversation? Or do you want to go for whatever your next goal is that you want to go for? Have all that laid out even before you start getting names in your database. And then as far as getting the names, IBL is good for brick and mortar companies. Infinite Business Leads is perfect for brick and mortar companies because they're listed there. They're in Google My Business. If you start going the MLM route, for example, I would still pick an industry, maybe health, maybe, whatever the MLM industry is. They're online MLMs, people that do landing pages and SEO services. I mean, everything's set up as an MLM nowadays, right? So maybe figure a little small specialty within there, and then just go start doing Google searches for them, because the leaders, the ones that are making a difference, will be up in Google. You know, if you go search for, what's the name of the company? My mind just went blank. They call it a nutraceutical company. But anyway, take a big name of a big MLM company and put it into Google. And your first couple of results are going to be the company, right? It's going to be their sales page, their compensation plan, their this, their that. But when you start getting to the bottom of page 1 or page 2, you're going to start to see individual pages of people that are doing really well within the company, that are promoting themselves online. That's your market, right? Yeah. That's your market. That's the people you want to contact. And that's where you'll get your info. And it's a little more work there. You know, do that search for the company and go down 4 or 5 pages, find all those people in the first 4 or 5 pages that are listed up there. Most of them are still going to be in the company. Most of them are going to be active. And guess what? Some of these MLMers hop to other companies and other companies. If they're not with that company anymore, it doesn't matter. If they made it to that bottom of page 1 or page 2, they're with some company doing the same thing. They still need the tool. Doesn't, you know, if you call them and they go, oh, I'm not with them anymore, do not let that deter you, because these guys, oh, who are you with now? You know, just keep the conversation going. Oh, great. Who are you with now? How big's your team? They love talking about that. You know, find out that should be part of your list too. You know, when you're doing the pain points and what do they like talking about? Because if you're going to make it a conversation, you need to make it a conversation. You need to get them talking about themselves. That's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
One other thing that I think I'll mention is, and this is part of doing your plan. When you get to the point you're doing your actual people, you're finding your people, you've already got your pain points, you got your solutions, you know the gift, you know, all that. While you're doing the research on the people, find a couple of personal things about them. Okay. If the broker's name is John Jones, go to Facebook and find John Jones's personal page. Did he just get back from a trip in Hawaii? Does he have dogs that he puts on there? You know, because if you go, hey, I saw you on Facebook. I saw you just came to Hawaii. I was in Hawaii 2 years ago. I loved it. How was it? They're not thinking business, right? And they had vacation. They obviously loved it, or they wouldn't have posted the pictures on Facebook, right? They'll talk about it. They've got dogs. Dogs are big in their life. Every picture is them walking their dogs all over Facebook. Wow, your dogs are beautiful. How long have you had them? Do you walk them every day? Conversation. Walls come down, guard comes down. They start looking at you as a friend rather than a business provider or vendor. You know, so while you're doing your plan, make little notes of that, you know, over in your notes thing. If you're on Messenger, you're right there. You can make notes right in Genius Messenger. Has 2 dogs all over Facebook, you know, wife died 6 months ago. Okay. Well, there are things you're not going to talk about when you know, or, you know, first off, let me say, I saw on Facebook, I saw you lost a spouse. I can't imagine. I'm so sorry. I know there's nothing I can say, and everybody tries to say things and it doesn't help, but just, I'm sorry to hear that. You know, something like that. Wow. Thank you. You know, personal. This is why I don't do templates, right? You're starting to see why I don't do templates. You can't do this stuff with templates, not easily. Templates don't work. Not the approach I take. Taylor, you're looking fried. Is it too much information overload?
It's 11:15 p.m. That's why.
Cool.
No, it's a lot of information. I'm just trying to keep up, and my mind wants to come up with 50 ideas at once. Like Misty and I, whenever we were talking at 7-Eleven earlier, we're like, we want to do this and this and this and this and this. And then we were both like, let's just get through this week.
But resellers are a good direction to go in because it's a higher ticket offer. It's a higher ticket offer than an end user, and it has the potential for more add-ons. You know, your chances of getting your average user of Genius Messenger to also use Connector and Birthday Post and some of these other things, yes, they'll do that. And a lot of them will do that. And it's a little extra money. But now you start talking resellers, the person that wants to sell Genius Messenger also wants to sell this and this and this. They always do. And you can either give them an add-on, which instead of an extra $10 a month for this, $15 a month for that, $20, now it's an extra 100, extra 150, you know, again, higher ticket items. And if they're not ready for that, you can give them a plan to work towards it and say, great, you know, here's when we'll throw that in the mix for you. But yeah, so it's a worthy goal. I think and you guys are in the right place in your business to do that. But reach out to remember what I said first, reach out to your warm market first. Go to them first. You're already loving the tool. Let me show you how to, can you help us promote it? We can make some money. And I'm not going to cover affiliate stuff in this recording. We can do that on another session. But that's a good way to, it's a lot more work for you, a lot less work for them. I try not to do it. But, I have several hundred resellers. I have 5 affiliates. So that tells you where my focus is.
Oh my God.
Oh, yes.
Wow, that goals.
Yeah, I do not like affiliates. I want resellers. Can't say I don't like affiliates. If you're an affiliate of mine, I do like you. I just don't generally like working with affiliates.
Right. We understand. Okay, well that actually puts some things into perspective for us as far as what we're aiming for.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, really appreciate it, Ed. Super helpful.
Me too. I'm still processing. I'm processing, and my brain stops processing at like about 9 p.m. So forgive me. I'm about half speed right now.
Well, put some of this into place. Reach out to your warm market.
Yeah, I have massive notes over here.
And then put your first cold market plan together, and maybe reach out to the first 10 and see how it goes. And then let's have a follow-up session.
Yeah, we have a spreadsheet going already, and we didn't have all of the columns laid out that you just mentioned to us, but we did have some, so we're at least on the right track. But we'll add those other columns, and we have this recording now. And then I'm sure Misty also took as many notes as I did. And our plan was to reach out. I think we have a list of 25 people, and some of them we already know. We're already in touch with them. But it's like a mix of reseller, affiliate kind of collab opportunity. So we're going to kind of start there. Well, we didn't want to until we spoke to you. So this is very helpful. And then, we can have a regroup after we get that initial feedback.
Please, because we can do some follow-up sessions. One thing, you just reminded me of something that I definitely want to get in this recording. I think it's important because a lot of people out there that are reselling know they can have affiliates, right? They can run an affiliate program and send people to their link and give them a percentage. I always try, that's the first thing people ask. Do you have an affiliate program? I get 5 emails a day. Do you have an affiliate program? Do you have an affiliate program? And my answer, even though I do, is always no. I have a reseller program. I don't even tell them about the affiliate. Now, some of them will come back and go, it's not for me, but I've done affiliate marketing and here it is. And then I'll qualify them because I don't take affiliates on unless they've got a track record at recurring income and they can prove a high ROI, a high CTR, and a low churn rate. And if they can't absolutely document that in a recurring revenue stream, they're not an affiliate of mine, period. End of discussion. Oh, but I've got a market of 200 people. Great, but I'll sell you 200 licenses. I always take that conversation from affiliate to reseller. If you go to YouTube and go to my channel and look up, I think it's called like resellers versus affiliates or reselling versus affiliate, something like that. I did a 20-minute presentation. It's kind of short on the advantages from a perspective of a person that will come to you asking to be a reseller or an affiliate. It's from their perspective of which one's better. Let's look at what a reseller program will do for me and what an affiliate program will do to me and compare. And so you might want to look at that and make your own kind of video like that. And when you get people that think they want to be affiliates, your goal at that point is to convince them that they don't want to be an affiliate, but they do want to be a reseller, right? That, at least from my perspective, because affiliates are pain in the butt. It's a lot of work. Okay. So I talk about things like, why in the world would you want to make 50% when you can make 100%? You're going to double your income by being a reseller. Why would you want to be an affiliate? Oh, I got to build my own sales page. Great. We can give you you can clone our pages and then customize them. Get on Kartra, clone them, pay a VA to put you do a web page one time, and then you can market it. So if you have to do a little bit of extra work up front, but now you're at 100%, why wouldn't you do that? So I always get them thinking, you're leaving so much money on the table. My goal when they come to me is to talk them out of that entire concept completely. and some of them will insist. And then you can evaluate whether you want to bring them on or not. Not saying that's the right way for you to do it, but that's my approach. When they come to me for affiliates, I talk about reseller programs. So yeah, I just tell them, no, I don't do it. And if they come back, oh, I say, well, look, I do have an affiliate program, but here's what I need to see from you. And then we need to get on Zoom and have an interview to see if I'm going to, I mean, I let them know the chances of them becoming an affiliate are slim to none. I think I've had probably, since I've started Genius Messenger CRM, I've had probably 1,000 affiliate requests in that year and a half, and I have 5. So that tells you my ratio of accepting affiliates.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Good to know.
Just something to think about, but you don't have to just say, no, I don't want to work with you. You give them an alternative, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then sell them on why that's a better alternative for them. Because it is a better alternative for them. So
yeah.
Cool. I'm going to stop the recording.
Thank you.
I think this was good. Whoops, if I can find where my mouse went. Oh, there it is, my cursor.